Hey there, friend. Welcome back to Daily Dose Radio here in the Bible Bistro. Come on in here with me, would you? And sit down with me and let's open our Bibles up today as we study Psalm 18. Now, this will be our third week? This is our third week in Psalm 18. We have 2 more weeks to go because, actually, no, we don't. We have 1 more week to go. This is our 4th week in Psalm 18. So, we've been studying Psalm 18, and of course, this is, as I've said, this is David's great poetry. This is his magnum opus. And so much is here. This is when he was delivered from the hand of Saul and the hand of all of his enemies, and we find that recorded there in Samuel. And actually, the words of this psalm are mostly there in Samuel as well. We have in here the Messiah. We have God responding to David's prayer by coming down as a mighty warrior. We've seen all of those things happening. This week, David turns to his audience. Now, we've been kind of observing, right? We've been watching all of this happen. David telling us about his prayer, praying the prayer. Then the Lord comes down and all of the things that we've seen. And then now the last part of last week, he was praising God. It was in praise of who God is. And now this week, he turns to the audience and he begins to speak to us. And I think what he's trying to do here, in beginning there in verse 31, is he wants to draw us into his praise of God. That's what he wants. He wants us to help him. He wants us to say these words with him. And so we have that here, verses 31 through 34. And then in 35 through 40, we have another section in praise of you. So we've had that at the end of last week. We're going to have it again here to finish out the end of this week. So let's read verses 31 and 32 today. For who is God save the Lord? Or who is a rock save our God? It is God that girdeth me with strength, and maketh my way perfect. Amen. Who is God except the Lord? So you see David's turning to his audience here, and he asked some questions. So, he's been speaking praise. Now he turns to us and he says, okay, family, who is he? Who is God except the Lord? Who is a rock except our God? Well, there's none. There's only one. And do you remember what the New Testament does with that idea of the rock? Paul says that the rock that followed the people of God in the wilderness was Christ. And you go back and you read about the rock from which the water flowed. And so Paul interprets that as being Christ in the wilderness to provide for the people. And here that imagery comes into the psalm, and he says, who is a rock save our God? Now, of course, we can say that, as the goat stands upon the mountaintop, that's the rock. It's firm, it's unmoved, it's unshaken. It's going to be there. And it's a place of safety, it's a place of shelter, it's a place of provision. All of those things can be said. But also I think we have something here of an image of Christ. He's the rock. He's the rock upon which we are founded. Jesus told the parable about the man who built his house upon a rock and the man who built his house upon the sand. Jesus is that rock upon which we need to build our lives. And the psalmist looks at us and he says, okay, who is it? Who is a God except the Lord? Who is a rock except our God? And then you'll notice 32, it is God that girds me with strength and makes my way perfect. God girds me with strength. Amen. And so he is able to do exactly what he said here, to make us strong. He is the rock, and of course, if we're standing on a rock, which we're going to see tomorrow, when he talks about the hind's feet, we'll talk about that some more tomorrow, and more about the strength, because he's going to really develop this idea of strength in the next 2 verses. Okay, join me again tomorrow, and we'll just do just that. We'll look at verses 33 and 34 here on Daily Dose Radio.